Hi friends, this is Krishna. In this video we're going to see about tell me about yourself on Selenium if at all you were attending the interview on Selenium. How to tell about yourself in the interview. This is the first question they are going to ask in the interview and all. How you need to start, how you need to complete this question. Based on this question only, it is depending on whether your interview is clearing or not. This is the I can say how much effectively you are telling the answer to this question depends on that. Half of the interview will be completed, and rest half of the interview they will ask questions whatever you explained, whatever the skills you explained to them. Based on that, they are going to ask you follow-up questions on to you. So that is the reason how effectively you are telling this question answer is very important to clear the interview whenever you are attending any interview. You believe or not, some of the real-time people also interviews are rejecting. Not lack of the knowledge. They are having strong enough knowledge, but they don't know how to explain the things to the interviewer. They don't know how to impress the interviewer. They don't know how to make interviewer impress, and based on they don't know how to make interviewer feels that you know everything whatever as per their job requirement. So this is the challenging here. Based on this only the interview will be decided. So how we need to explain this question very effectively to the interviewer, we will discuss in this video. First, you need to tell about your name and your experience. Experience means total how many years of experience. Coming to myself, I am having 13 years of experience in software testing. Worked for so and so technologies. I worked on QTP, UFT, Selenium and Rational Robot and WinApp driver with Python and Java, C language, so and JavaScript. Like this way you need to tell about your experience and your strong skills. Whatever you feels that you are comfortable to answer any question, you need to talk about all those skills. You need to talk about all those strong skills along with your experience, and then you need to tell about your domains you worked on, various domains in your experience you worked on, banking or insurance or ratings or telecom or ERP, any domain. So what are all the domains you worked on in your experience? You need to mention all those domains, and then you need to tell about your current company and how many years you are working, from past how many years you are working with that company, and your previous company experience, and what are all the clients you worked on with those companies, and what are all the various technologies you learned with those companies. You need to explain very clearly here. After that, you need to enter into your project. And some of the people are asking me, sir, can I tell my personal details also in the interview? That depends. If at all you are attending on as a fresher, you can tell about your family background, your father, your mother, your siblings, all these things you can explain to the interviewer. But whenever you are attending the interview with some experience, you no need to talk about your personal things, because your experience is the matter here, not your personal backgrounds and all. Because in the some of the interviews and all, some people are telling their personal background also, but as per my knowledge, personal details are not required for the experienced positions, because that doesn't need to the interviewer. Interviewer need your experience. So well, next you need to talk about your project, current project. You need to tell about architecture of your project, everything, what are all the different functionalities are there, what is the domain, what are all the various tools you are using, what is the technologies you are using for automation. So these all the things you need to explain very clearly about your project to the interviewer. You need to feel interviewer that you know each and everything in that project manually. And then once the interviewer understands each and everything, you explained everything about your current project and what are all the various roles in that project is there, who is the end user for that project, which domain, which tools you have used, all these things you need to explain very clearly to the interviewer. And then finally you need to start with your responsibilities in that project. This is very important. You need to talk about your responsibilities on your Selenium project. Usually what responsibilities will be there on the Selenium side, each and everything based on the experience whatever you are putting, like whatever the experience you are having, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years on Selenium. So those related responsibilities in a structural way you need to explain very clearly to the interviewer without miss any. Then interviewer feels that okay, end-to-end life cycle, end-to-end life cycle of the project, from right from scratch to the ending. So that level of impression you need to get at the end of this question, right? The first thing, even in manual or automation, we need to understand the requirement document. You can tell them that you know how to understand the requirements document and all, and then you are going to start in the automation you are going to start with automation scope based on dry run of test cases. See, manual team will give you number of test cases to you for automation. In the beginning of the project, what we are doing, we need to take all those test cases with the little KT from the manual team. We are going to execute those test cases to understand the application functionality and to estimate the each and every test case, what is the complexity of the each and every test case. So that is what in the beginning of the any automation project we are doing, even with Selenium or QTP or UFT, any tool. So that we are going to do that. Next part, as I told you, we are working on identifying the estimations and identifying the complexities for each and every test case we need to follow. Okay, they have given 1000 test cases. You identify 1000 complex, high, medium, low. Those complexities you have identified, and you need to explain to the interviewer that okay, so once we get the test suite from the manual team, we are going to differentiate all those test cases based on the complexities, high, medium, low, or very high, medium, low, like that way. And each level of complexity, how many hours is required, also we are going to update. Based on that, we are going to prepare the automation plan. You can tell that if at all you are having more than 5 years experience, you can tell them that you have prepared the automation plan. Otherwise, you can tell them that you involved in preparing the automation plan. Your lead is there, your lead is preparing the automation plan, and you also involved in complexity identification. You also involved in estimations part. So based on the experience, based on the role you are applying for the interview, depends on that, you can tell that you have involved in preparing the plan or you only prepared the automation plan. Again, they may ask you a number of questions on this automation plan. What all the different stages will be there? Same simple stage. Initial stage will be there, where we are going to identify the estimations and complexities. Next, design phase will be there, where you are going to design the framework and all. Next, development phase will be there. Next, deployment phase will be there. These all things you need to explain very clearly to the interviewer. Next, very important thing, here also same thing, automation frameworks. Whether you developed the framework or you involved in developing the framework. So that depends on how much experience you are having and what role you are applying for the company. Based on this responsibility will change. You are applying for the test lead role, for example. Then you need to explain them that so you only developed the automation framework right from scratch to the ending. Or you are applying for a senior software engineer role, 3-4 years experience. Then you can tell them that you involved in designing the automation framework along with your lead. Okay, so very good. Next, and then you need to tell them that so test case functionalities, developing the test cases, before that developing the automation frameworks, which framework you developed, either hybrid or keyword driven or data driven, which framework you developed it, and whether you involved it or you only developed it, that will be updated to the interviewer, that how much strong level of knowledge you are having on the framework side. Similarly, once framework is developed, okay, fine, reusable functionalities we need to develop related to the application side. You need to tell them that okay, you are developing the reusable functionalities for the common functionalities. And then this is about the beginning part of the any application, it is same. Now we are entering into what are all the strong points in Selenium side which you have used. What are the strong skills you have used from the Selenium side? So what are all the different technologies or different things you have used in your project? Like for example, Windows automation, it is not supported. For that, which tool you have used? So either Auto IT we can use for the Windows automation. For the keyboard actions and all, you can tell them that robot you have used, what database connections you have used, okay, and which language you are using. For example, you need to highlight that language, Java or Python. So similarly, so which frameworks you have used, either it may be a page object model framework or page object model with page factory or Testng framework. So you need to highlight your skills to the interviewer. Your intention is to impress the interviewer with your skills. So this is the very good opportunity. This question is for everybody. You need to throw all the skills in front of the interviewer. Then he feels that, okay, you know whatever is required for the Selenium automation. He feels that, okay, if I will give project to him, he right from scratch to ending, he can able to manage this project. That level of confidence you need to build to the interviewer. As I told you in the previous also, don't think much about the communication part. Communication is something like whether you are able to express the skills to the interviewer or not, whether he is understanding or not, whether it is a grammatical mistakes are there and all. No interviewer will consider that. We will try to improve our communication, but don't worry like I may have grammatical mistakes in my communication and all. No, nobody is perfect in the entire world. Everybody will do a mistakes. We need to learn the things from mistakes only. So don't worry much about the communication part and all. Whatever you know, try to explain it very clearly to the interviewer. That's it. That is what we need to do. Right. And then you need to talk about your strong skills in the Selenium side, whatever you have used. Like Auto IT for Windows automation. Robot we can use for the mouse actions and all. And you can tell them that you have involved in DB testing from the Selenium side. So you know how to connect to the Oracle database. So tell more skills to him. So you can tell them that you are very much proficient in using Testng, page object model and page factories. And you know the features of Testng. You can use listeners, groups, data providers. These are all related to the Testng related skills. And also you can tell them that you know how to integrate Testng with the Maven. Okay, Testng is a testing framework. Maven is a build tool. It is going to build for us. Going to whatever the dependencies we have given, all those dependencies will be downloaded for us. So that is the job of a Maven. And we can, by using Maven, we can integrate it with the Jenkins also, Bamboo also. So that is the importance of the Maven. So my intention is whatever you know in structural manner, explain it to the interviewer. Whatever the strong skills you are having, those all skills we need to explain it to the interviewer. That is the job we need to do. And you can tell them that you are very much expert in writing the XPaths. Because if you know XPath, Selenium, each and every locator, you can able to identify. You can able to identify each and every element in your web application. So you can tell them that you know CSS also. And also different controls. How to work with the drop downs, how to work with the text boxes, check boxes, radio buttons, and work with the frames, windows, alerts, and working with the web tables. Those all things you need to clearly explain it to the interviewer. You need to make interviewer comfortable that you know each and everything. And one thing you need to remember, whatever you are telling here, after you complete this question, they are going to ask you questions on all these. So you should be put or tell to the interviewer whatever you are strong enough. Something is not clear to you, you don't need to explain it to the interviewer in this question, because he will remember what are all the things you are explaining to him. So that is the reason, please remember each and everything you are explaining to the interviewer. He will note down each and everything, and he will start asking questions on top of all these things, whatever you explain to him. So good. Well, so you need to talk about frames, alerts, windows, web tables. What are the complex things you have automated in your application, which you got appreciations from the client? Okay, so the new functionalities you developed, or you worked on innovating something in the automation which is not ready-made with everybody. So these are all the things, strong points you can mention here. Okay, So what are all the best compliments you got from the client on the work you did. So these all things are very good role playing here. You are making interviewer that you are a strong person, and then you are going to work with you are very much proficient in log4j part, and you know how to work with the Jenkins or Bamboo for continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous testing. So these are all the things you need to explain, and also you can tell them that you know how to connect to the text files, you know how to read and write the data from the Excel sheets. Okay, so because all our test data is available in Excel sheets, and you know how to read the properties files, you know how to write the results into a very effective reports like extend reports or allure reports. You can tell them that you know right from starting to ending, you need to convince the interviewer that you know each and everything required for Selenium automation. Then only interviewer will be impressed with your answer. Like that, how you need to work with the in the tell me about yourself question, and then you can talk about different frameworks you have worked on and all these things, how you are doing in the agile model. That is very, very important. Offshore on-site model you need to tell in your testing life cycle, automation life cycle. The automation life cycle you need to talk about agile model very clearly. Even in manual testing or automation testing, agile model is common. We're going to have a number of stories in our storyboard assigned to each and everybody. We need to burn our hours, and we need to tell to the client or scrum master that what is completed, what is pending. These are all the things in the daily manner you need to do all these things. So why I am stressing agile model, because nowadays almost all the projects are agile model only. Everybody is following as agile model. That is the reason I am telling you we need to follow the agile model even in manual testing or automation testing, same thing. And also, if at all you are applying for a test lead role, you can tell them that you are going to send reports to the client daily basis, weekly basis. So all these things you can explain very clearly to the interviewer. If at all you are telling like this way to the interviewer, then see, some interviewers and all, they will ask you to stop in the middle and they will start asking the questions. Then that is fine. If he is allowing you to explain, then you need to tell as much as you can to the interviewer. You need to put each and everything, whatever you know, whatever strong enough to you, put all the things in front of the interviewer, so that it will be very easy for the interviewer that he will understand what are the skills you know. Based on this, okay, it will be a more chance for you to clear that interview. Okay, that will be decided. So this is a deciding question for us. So if interviewer is not stopping you, put as much as you can, how much knowledge you know, how you are strong, what are all the things. So put everything in front of the interviewer. Then he will start asking the questions on all those things. So, but one thing you need to remember here is, whatever you are strong, only mention those things in front of the interviewer. Something you are not strong, don't tell those things to the interviewer. And also one more thing, I used to tell in each and every video, don't think like you need to answer each and every question asked by the interviewer. No, nobody knows everything. No need to answer each and every question asked by the interviewer. That is not at all required. But the questions you are answering very much enough to the interviewer, but you need to explain such a manner those things you know in and out. That is very much required to the interviewer. And also how you are explaining to the interviewer is also very, very important, along with all the skills. I know some of the people, they know technically very strong, but they don't know how to explain to the interviewer. Then they may not able to clear the interview. Because how interviewer will know how much knowledge you are having? Because you need to open your mouth and you need to explain to the interviewer. You are not opening your mouth for each and every question. Then how interviewer will know you know more things, or you are best in technology? Interviewer don't know. So that is the reason. Please concentrate on how to explain to the interviewer whatever the things you know. So that will be a very easy job. Before going to the interview, practice 1 or 2 times. If sounds a question will ask me, how to answer for that, what manner I need to answer, how to start, how to end. So those things you need to practice yourselves, and 100% you can able to clear the interview. So all the best to you all. Thank you so much.